Hackers can come in, take over your system, and you won't even know about it. There's a big gap between just IT management and healthcare, and that gap, I'm trying to bridge it together because there's not a lot of help, and the help that there is, it's a little bit disconnected. It's like creating an engine and putting pieces together to create a Ferrari that's going to run straight into that track for healthcare IT. So that's how I see AI agents. It's multiple pieces until you get like a nice full engine working.
What type of configurations do you guys offer for them?
Cloud service is the way to go. And I can show their providers like, here, you're lacking here, here, here. You need to close these gaps in your privacy and eliminate all those holes where a hacker can come in and take over your system. Just how your customers pick you, I also pick my customers. It needs to be a handshake between the both of us because this is a partnership. You're not a customer, you're a partner to me. I think IT staff, they think they might lose their job because of AI, but I really just don't think so. I think you can shine even further because customer service will never go away. Customer service is number one.
You need the person to work along with it to be able to understand everything. So that's exactly how I see it as well. Thanks for tuning in to Privion AI Spotlight. I started this show because AI is changing everything, and most people have no idea how fast. So each week, I'm sitting down with real operators, founders, educators, and people inside of the system AI is already touching. No hype, just real conversation about what's actually happening behind the scenes. So if you want to stay ahead on what's coming, tap subscribe. Now let's get into today's conversation. Welcome back to Privion AI Spotlight. Today I'm sitting with Alexander Primiterio, the CEO and founder of PrimiSmarts Technologies, who's done amazing work in the healthcare sector. So Alex, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
For sure. So for those who do not know you, and can you tell us a little bit about your background and also how you got started in the healthcare IT sector?
Yeah, so my background's always been, problem solving. So PrimiSmarts began as a home automation company, just kind of setting up smart homes. That lasted for like about 6 months. And at the same time, I got a job at a hospital and I learned, and I got a job at the help desk at a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned everything about IT and healthcare and IT specifically. And I decided to pivot PrimiSmarts into that section. So I started doing IT support for small businesses and then IT support for independent healthcare providers. And then I did 2 more pivots after that, and I'll tell you more a little bit as we go on in the story.
Nice.
But that's the beginning of me and PrimiSmarts.
So you mentioned you started with small businesses and then you transitioned into healthcare. So what made you make that transition specifically? What inspired you to make that transition?
My understanding of healthcare, the need that there's a massive need in IT in the healthcare space. There's a big gap between IT support or just IT management and healthcare, and that gap, I'm trying to bridge it together because there's not a lot of help, and the help that there is it's a little bit disconnected, as you can see. That's what I've learned. So I'm acting as the bridge between those two worlds.
Awesome. And I know that that industry is actually very difficult to tap into. For example, I know HIPAA compliance is something that is really, really important. You're dealing with personal records, names, sensitive information. So I'm sure that transition from small business to the healthcare sector was a huge transition just because of that. So can you tell us a little bit more about HIPAA compliance and what kind of things did you have to do to make sure you were compliant in that as well?
100%. Yeah, so I had to take numerous certifications for HIPAA, and then every year I have to recert myself or restart the company too. It's actually both in terms of HIPAA compliancy, and then also all the tools that I have to use. There's a massive amounts of certifications and licensing that you need to have in order to hold, for example, like a provider's computer onto your RMM, your remote management system. That's what I use to remotely connect to all of my customers. You got to have the right, not only the right software, but the right antivirus and all the network protection. And all of those things, getting all those tools, it's taken months to acquire, but now we have them.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's really important, especially being in your industry. And talk to me a little bit more about like the deployment side of things, because I know that I think they might have some local servers or they might want a private cloud. How do you guys go in regards to like the deployment aspect of it? So when you work with these healthcare providers, do you work with their computers, or is it their server, or do you have your server, or what type of configurations do you guys offer for them?
So everything's on the cloud. Local servers that there's in terms of cost and time, it doesn't make sense anymore. The cloud service is the way to go. It's a lot cheaper, and it's also in the cloud owner's hands at the same time. So I don't have to deal with the management or the maintenance. So Google Cloud, Amazon, AWS, and then in terms of how we handle the software, like for example, like the EMRs, right? The electronic health records. That's all managed by that company itself.
Mhm.
My management comes from my RMMs, which is like making sure that you are running 100% of the time or preventing anything from breaking, really.
Okay, so talk to me about the whole process. Let's say you meet a doctor, right? So I believe you work in the Merrimack Valley industry. So you work with different doctors and you have a sit down with them. What is like the first conversations that you have with them to make them aware, hey, there's some security risk, or these are things you should implement to make sure that your data is being protected?
Oh yeah, the first thing I see if they have an antivirus software. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a partnership with SentinelOne, and that's one of the leading antivirus services that's in the country right now. So we finally managed to strike a deal with them, and I'm able to provide that specific service. They can give me a report of all the systems in their practices, and I can show their providers like, here you're lacking here, 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 here. You need to close these gaps in your privacy and eliminate all those holes where a hacker can come in and take over your system, because hackers can come in, take over your system, and you won't even know about it. And that's the scary part.
Yeah, and that's why IT is super important, right? So, and you work in the healthcare, but there's like some big companies, mid-size, small, So when it comes to the size, what type of let's say what type of I want to say, is it small, is it large, or what type of size of the company do you guys work with?
Yeah, that's a great question. So at the beginning of the year, it would be to just a small office. Now that I have like all the tools that any other business would have, I can take medium to large. We have all the tools to take on anything and anyone right now.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I can do it doesn't mean I'm doing it. I'm very careful so just how your customers pick you, I also pick my customers. It needs to be a handshake between the both of us, because this is a partnership. It is not even a customer to, you're not a customer, you're a partner to me. We have to work together to strike the best balance between service and action. And it has to be a handshake. But in terms of the size, the answer to your question, we can do a large company,
Mm-hmm.
but we're choosing to go small and medium only in the Merrimack Valley. We are doing very small pockets and in very small area to make sure we get this thing right. Because PrimiSmarts was made, and it's being created still, strategically picking the right tools and all the right things that I need to make sure I can provide the best service at the best possible price.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a generic IT company, they just have all these things, and because they have to pay for all those services, they make the price gigantic when it doesn't need to be.
Mm-hmm.
I am curating things little by little. It's like creating an engine. I'm putting pieces together to create a Ferrari that's going to run straight into that track for healthcare IT.
Awesome. I think you mentioned that the tools are super important for you to provide a really specialized and tailored solution that is also cost effective, right? So I think that's really important. So I would love to learn more about the tools of AI that you guys have been using, because we are living in the age of AI. Everyone's really excited. But again, you're in a very regulated industry. So can you talk to me about how AI has been used as part of your tools, and also what's kind of have been the feedback from these healthcare providers or these people in the profession?
In terms of AI, we started implementing AI about 2 months ago, and we use exclusively just Google Cloud for AI. Gemini, Gamma, all of those Gemini tools. But we have one specific tool that I'm going to be deploying tools one by one. So I want to tackle a real problem. which is a turnover rate. There is a massive turnover rate of staff in offices, hospitals, what have you, right? So the PrimiSmarts support app that I'm deploying, this is my first AI deployment, or that I'll be sharing with my providers very soon. Will be a highly trained AI chatbot where you can talk live and share screens regarding the electronic health record, your EHR. So, for example, if you're using Athena Health, that's my first platform that I'm going to, that's being trained right now, Athena Health, and then it'll grow into Tebra, Meditech, and there's so many out there, but Athena 1 is the first one. So, for example, if let's say you have a new staff, instead of the staff asking everybody help when everyone's busy, she can just go in and ask, hey, where can I find the demographic of this patient, or where can I find this toggle or specific settings? How do I create a new user? For example, the office manager would need something like that. You don't create a new user every day, so the AI will tell you exactly where to go. And if you're having trouble going through the instructions, you can share screens and it'll tell you live where to go and find certain things. That's my first deployment.
Awesome. I think that's a huge resource right there, because as you mentioned, there's a huge turnover, right? So when it comes to retention at work, right? People are coming in, people are coming out, but just imagine how much time is needed to train someone. Literally, you might need to take a whole month, even sometimes even a whole year, so that someone can really fine tune the whole process that's taking place. So I think that's a great application, that if you can create an agent or an AI chatbot where you can go ahead and already train it based off the company's workflows or their systems, and then have someone be like a digital coworker, right? Meaning it's going to guide them through the process, is saving the doctor time and saving them money as well, as they don't have to go ahead and do this kind of handoff training. So I think that's super neat. Something interesting that you mentioned that I want to pick your brain on is, you mentioned that your agent eventually will be tapping into these other systems that they currently have. Can you kind of guide us, for those who don't know, how is it that an agent can tap into existing systems?
Well, the agent's not directly tying into the system. The AI, the chatbot, is it's trained on all of their support documents to know where to go when you ask it a question. In terms of tapping into directly into the system, that's not how it's working. At least not now. If I can strike a deal with Athena, I will be more than happy to do something like that.
For sure.
But this comes into play, which is PrimiSmarts has two divisions, which is the MSP, which is the one where I can control your system remotely, and then that's division 1. And then division 2, it's the MIP, a managed service, managed intelligence provider. So that's where the AI comes from. So by having the MSP, I can grab my AI tools and just directly push them to your systems remotely. You don't even have to go online. It'll be an application in your computer you just wake up with. So I think that's the beauty of having the synergy of being able to control the system and having the managed intelligence provider, and all work hand in hand together.
I think that's amazing. I'm excited to see that being launched, and I know that's going to be a huge resource for those in that industry for sure. It's going to be a huge help. And talk to me more about the fact. Actually, I know that you did a program. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was at MIT, right? That had to do with artificial intelligence. So, can you talk to me a little bit about what was one of the most valuable lessons that you learned in that program, or one of the biggest key takeaways that you can share with us?
Honestly, a massive shout out to the guys who made that program, because it's called AI implications in business, and how to apply AI into businesses. So what I did, you have to pick a organization, and I chose the hospital that I work with, and I pretended that I was applying AI into the hospital. So what I did, I just reverse engineered it. Instead of being a big building, I reverse engineered it into just a small office. Well, I have other agents that are going to be deployed, but I really can't talk about them right now. But that was an amazing program, and honestly, I've been trying to get a hold of the owner or whoever did that program, because it's absolutely amazing. I learned a tremendous amount.
So I know you can't talk about it, right? However, you mentioned something about reverse engineering. And the reason I think this is really important is because many companies want to apply AI, but at the same time, they have to consider what's currently taking place within their workflows. Because I believe that if the workflows are not fixed or enhanced so that AI can be applied and further optimize it, then it's not going to be something that would work or benefit the company, right?
Exactly. That's why we have to call it partnerships.
That's true. Like you said, that's why we have to call it partnerships because even though I have the solution, it also takes their efforts to also restart. Sometimes you might be doing something for since the inception of the company, but maybe that needs to be changed so that we can further optimize, you know. So I think what you said is really important. That's why you said reverse engineering, and I think that's really, really important when we start applying AI.
Absolutely. Yep. So I always bring up the word partnerships, because if I don't know your workflow from beginning to end, then I don't know where I can put the gap. Um, every office, every doctor's office, there's something that's not working between A to B, which is, where the patient comes in to the moment the paycheck from the insurance. That's A and B. That's literally what our office is. The patient walks into the door and you get your check from the insurance company. That's A to B. Between all this right here, this entire thread, there's gaps that can be filled or minimized with an AI agent. It could be either billing, it could be scheduling, it could be how you extract the data from even from a driver's license. Even something as simple as that can save you time and money.
Yeah, so you're talking about multiple agents, or are you talking about one agent that can do all these things?
Multiple agents. It has to be multiple agents.
I like that idea because if you think about it, one person shouldn't be running a whole company. And the way I see these agents is like digital workers, right? Some you have a marketing department, you might have a sales department, you have a technical department. So it wouldn't make sense to make a super agent, but I also believe in the sense that we should make specialized agents for specific departments, understand those workflows, and then also apply it as well. So I love that.
Yeah, I have a little example too. So it's like when you go into your car and you shift the key, right? To you, it's just shifting the key and the car turns on. But that's not really the case. When you shift the key, a series of events take place until your car really starts, until you get the spark plug to start the ignition. So that's how I see AI agents. It's multiple pieces until you get like a nice full engine working. That's how I really see it.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful analogy. So I'm sure the crowd is going to be able to learn even from that. So I think that's really great. Tell me a little bit more about like the misconceptions. Like, what are some worries? I believe IT is huge, right? It's moving. It's a forward thinking type of industry. But now that we have implemented AI, that's even more forward thinking. However, I believe many people in the healthcare industry have been in the industry for such a long time. What are some kind of misconceptions that they have, or some scares that they might have about applying this new service?
I think IT staff, they think they might lose their job because of AI, but I really just don't think so. I think you can shine even further, because customer service will never go away. I think having customer service is going to separate you from everybody. You're going to be like the 1% if you have good customer service in the world of AI. There's other skills you can learn in the IT space. Maybe some things might get consolidated, but I don't see AI taking people's jobs as it sounds.
Yeah, I totally agree. And even what you're developing, that is supposed to be a coworker, right? It's not something that's going to replace because you need the person that to work along with it to be able to understand everything. So that's exactly how I see it as well.
Having a conversation about IT can be a little complicated sometimes because there's a lot of terminologies and there's a lot of you can start seeing it EHRs, RMMs, SOC or SaaS. There's so many words that you can say, but I think the general population or people outside of the industry, they just kind of won't understand unless you're in it.
So if you were to explain to us, and that's what I like to do with my channel is like I want to simplify it so that literally even and I said this last time in my last episode that even if a fifth grader is tuning in, like they should be able to understand it. So if you can put it in really basic terms so that for those terminologies, the different terminologies, can you break it down for us?
Yeah, like So the RMM is like, the remote management software. That's actually like that's like the spinal cord of this entire service. So there's two divisions, like I said earlier. The RMM for MSP, and then MIP for the managed intelligence provider. And then EHR is the electronic health record. But there's just so many words that maybe they'll come up eventually.
I think something you mentioned earlier was partnerships, right? So not only do you have your partner as you were working with them, but you have your internal team as well. So can you talk to me about your team and how you lean on them? I'm sure they specialize on something different and fill in the gaps.
Yeah, so I have a network security engineer. His name is Dan, and he is a master at network security. So PrimiSmarts has two more. So, and we have Dan. He handles the network security side. He is a master at just computer wizardry and network security. And then Karina, she's the head of business development. So she kind of see where the industry is going, meets certain people, and just kind of connects me with the right personnel for certain things, for advancement in the industry. So we have a great balanced team. I'm the founder and the owner, but I am very much one of the core engineer. Like I'm engineering this entire thing, and customer service is number one. Like I tell this to every single person: if you come into IT, please make customer service your number one priority. I'm telling you right now, that is number one. Everything else is just change.
I saw on your website you provide 24/7 service. That means your customer service must be out of this world. But at the same time, we have to go to sleep. We have to take some breaks. So tell us, how exactly can you provide this 24/7 type of service?
Well, 24/7 is always on. So we have a call system. A call comes in, it goes into a queue, but either me or Dan is always online. There's no off time. But at the same time, not every doctor's office is open at 3 a.m. That's just not realistic. At the same time, like you're not, like a primary care is not open at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or etc. But we do have to be ready. So it is a 24/7 support. Okay, so right now my RMM has an automation to do some certain things every Sunday, and it's doing it right now. So hold on.
Okay.
It's for my computer. So right now, basically,
So you guys can see it's happening live. His process is happening live.
it's actually for a reboot for certain updates.
And I know that on your website, you also have something about you automate routine maintenance and security tasks. Can you talk to us how exactly you do that? Or is that through I believe the RMM?
That just happened right now.
Oh, through
The interruption from earlier is actually that what you mentioned.
to kind of just wrap it up, for those who want to like learn more about you and learn how to connect with you, what would be the best way to do so?
Well, you can send me an email at primiterio@primismarts.com, or you can go to our website, primismarts.com, or you can just go on Instagram at primismarts, and you can find us there too.
Guys, you heard that? Please check him out. Alex, thank you so much. I honestly believe that we learned a lot, especially from the IT sector and also how you're going to be using AI in this industry. So thank you all so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next one where we'll continue to interview different people from different industries and see how AI is impacting the world around us. Thank you all, and see you in the next one. If you're interested in how AI can be used in your business or at work, I'd love to help you understand what that really looks like. I made a free tool called the AI Audit Assistant. It asks you a few simple questions that shows you exactly where your business is leaking time or money and where automation can help. It's simple, it's fast, and completely free. Just click the link below and enter your name and email, and I'll send your audit agent straight to your inbox. And if you got value from this conversation, subscribing really helps this channel grow. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next episode.